Hello guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Alright, so we're back here. We have to make our way to the very top of this church somehow. So we're gonna have to start some kind of climbing. I go to the outside of the church and I see a ladder. He climbs ladders very safely. I reach the top side wall of the church, but I still have to climb the domed roof of the church, and it's very shady. It's not a. This roof has long done served its purpose. It's not a roof anymore. It's more like a covering. And at the top of the on top of the roof is another room. I assume this is where they would keep the bells if they had a bell or something, or a clock. And I see the old man standing at the top, and I approach him and a cutscene begins.
Well done there, young one.
The old man laughs, staring at me.
The time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule, a kingdom which no longer exists.
A blue light fills the small room they were just in. King Rome is now dressed in his most elegant attire. Crown,
The great
gauntlets.
calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form. I did not think it wise to overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me.
He stares out the window.
I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
He's staring off into the castle, far off in the distance.
To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation in the form of legends and fairy tales. But there was also a prophecy.
They're showing an ancient drawing of
The
Ganon
signs of the
versus Link.
resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land. It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors.
It shows men using pickaxes to dig into the side of a mountain.
These relics,
The mountain
the
shakes,
divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors.
revealing a
We
divine
also
beast.
found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a princess with a sacred power, and her appointed knight, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon.
It showed 4
But nay,
people on their knees.
Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan
And Zelda in the
beyond
middle.
imagining.
It shows Ganon circling the castle in his demon form. He appears to resemble an incredibly large demon. A serpent-like demon. And we also learned that the 3- and 4-legged octopus metallic creatures are called guardians.
Deep below Hyrule Castle, seize control of the guardians and the divine beasts. Turn them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in the castle as well. The appointed knight gravely collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon.
It's showing Hyrule in flames.
However,
Houses
the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
It shows Zelda
Link.
staring at Ganon,
You are our final hope.
raising her right hand with the
The
Triforce
fate
mark
of Hyrule rests with you.
at Ganon, and the screen fades to black. We're back
That
with Link.
princess was my own daughter, my dear Zelda. And the courageous knight who protected her right up to the very end. That knight was none other than you, Link.
He says as he turns around
You
to face
fought
Link.
valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then, you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering that I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you, Link. But I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon.
It shows a close-up of the king's face
Somehow,
and his hands.
Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko Village. There you will find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko Village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north.
King Rome. That was a fantastic scene. Most of it involved King Rome talking to Link in the room that we managed to climb up to. But interspaced in there was King Rome having a flashback of sorts to drawings that he was conveying about the history that happened while Link was asleep. It was written. It was drawn with very stylistic, simple, not stick figure drawings, but very simple drawings. But they look very nice. King Rome tells me now, go on. Here is the paraglider, just as I promised. Paraglider, an item that you received from the king on the Great Plateau. It allows you to sail through the sky. Press X while you're in the air to use it. And now it's in my inventory. Main quest, the isolated plateau, complete. And now it shows us a bird's eye view, but not from the top down, more of a 45-degree angle. So more like a security camera view. With that, you should be able to safely fly off the cliffs surrounding this area, said King Rom. And I think that's it. I've told you everything I can. Link, you must save Hyrule. As he disappears, leaving behind nothing but green and blue flames that disappear into nothingness. We now have a few new quests that have been highlighted on our mini-map on the bottom right of our screen. So now on our mini-map, along the circumference, there is now a blinking yellow beacon. And that's where I have to go to. Before I go anywhere, there's a chest in this room, just to the left of where we were talking. So I'm gonna open it up. Soldier's Bow. A bow designed for armed conflict. Inflicts more damage than a civilian bow, but it will still burn if it touches fire. And I add that to my inventory. And I walk towards a blasted out wall on the side of the room I'm in. And let's look at that new bow we just found. Soldier's Bow. It's about 3.5 feet wide or tall. It has what appears to be, let me look in my inventory because it gives me a better view. Once I equipped it, and I'm able to rotate Link as he holds his weapon while I'm in the inventory. So this bow is made out of wood, but it has metal attachments on the tips, and the handle where you grab the wood of the bow, it is flanked by, on the upper portion, a light metal shield, and on the bottom portion a light metal shield as well. And it has just a normal brown natural appearing cord. Alright, so now we're staying on top of this church. Let's jump off. And I activated my glider. This glider allows me to travel instead of falling, I am now traveling at this is about a 30-degree angle towards the ground, allowing me to cover a lot of distance. I'm making my way towards the base of the tower. And as I land, I am greeted by 1, 2 bokoblin skeletons that are throwing rocks at me. I've destroyed 2, and I have 1 to go. Took care of that one. Now we have a real bokoblin shooting arrows at me, while another one of his buddies tries to hit me with arrows as well. Right behind me is a keyspat, and another keyspat goes down. 3 more zombie bokoblin skeletons emerged out of the ground. These zombie bokoblins are very annoying. You hit them once with your weapon and they'll shatter, dropping their heads, but the heads will still be alive, bouncing around. And it seems as if that's all the... No, there's a zombie here, or a skeleton, that just put his body back together without a head. So that means there's a head around here somewhere. A bokoblin fang, an arrow that a bokoblin missed. And I see another bokoblin skeleton, and his head's bouncing. Let me whack that thing, and he put it on his head before I could whack it. And if I whack it before he puts it on his head, No chance. Bokoblin Fang, Bokoblin Fang. 5 arrows. A Bokoblin Horn. Arrow. Arrow. Key Swing. Alright. Alright, so we're about to leave this, an arrow. We're about to leave this plateau. And once we leave this plateau, we're probably not gonna be back here for quite some time, as this is the beginning stages of the game. This is more of a sandbox. A safe sandbox. Once we leave this safe sandbox, as I approach the edge of the plateau that we're on, I look down and I see a fall that would kill me without the paraglider. I also see an old, ancient, abandoned road that's partially overgrown, but it still has its flagpoles, none of which are standing up too straight, except the beginning two. They have ancient, tethered flags on them. Yeah. Alright, I guess this is a good spot to call it, guys. Thank you very much. And, yeah, let me know if you guys want me to change anything up or anything. I've never done anything like this before, and it's really fun. And, it's a big Hyrule out there to go explore. So if you guys want me to go check it out, just leave a comment or something, and I'll go right on out there to let me look at my adventure log. We can go out to look for this King Rome sent us on this quest. It says, you were tasked with going to Kakoriko village to speak with Impa, who will give you more details on your quest. Descend from the Great Plateau and head east beyond the dueling peaks, then follow the road to the north. The blinking dot on your Sheikah slate map will guide the way. So, if you guys want me to do that, just leave a comment. Seriously, just one comment and I will do it, dude. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.